Hey folks, we have another keyboard video. And another Unicomp one at that, so you guys know what to expect. Let's dig in. Open. Open. There you go. This is a keyboard I custom ordered from Unicomp. It's one of the EnduraPros. I had it customized a little bit. I gave it the 103 key layout to get rid of that Windows key on the right side that I never ever use. And that was really all I customized on. Other than that, it's just a regular EnduraPro with the Trackpoint mouse and everything. So let's take a look at it, shall we? All right, I got everything out of here. I got my invoice over there, warranty information here, and of course the keyboard and accessories. The accessory they gave me were different tips for the Trackpoint. That's really nice. That's pretty cool. I didn't expect that at all. That's really cool. I'm probably going to use the gray one because it blends in with the keys so well. But there's also another red one that's just like a regular piece of rubber instead of this cat's tongue texture, which I despise. So I'm probably going to take that off and replace it with something else. But I love how it's just a standard mount for these types of things. You can just put any old tip on here you want and it'll work. And of course, it's pretty basically what this is it's a Unicomp Ultra Classic with a Trackpoint built in. You saw on the one I previously reviewed that this was just a blank, a plastic blank, whereas on this one it's populated with a left and a right click button, which are very tactile. So, it works like it would on a laptop. Except the buttons are like 10 times more tactile than they are on a laptop. Feels interesting that way. It's just a regular buckling spring Model M type keyboard otherwise. So that's really the only added addition. The other thing I did with this is I got it in USB. And the nice thing is it comes out as one USB cable. I've wanted this in USB specifically because of that. The PS2 version comes with, your split PS2 keyboard and mouse, but this is just one USB cable. So this is nice as a test bench keyboard that's actually a good keyboard, You can just plug this into one port on your computer, and you have a keyboard and pointing device all in one thing here, which is really cool. I like seeing that come out of one USB cable like that. I think that's really cool. So, how is it compared to the other EnduraPro? The plastic molding looks the same. It has the same sort of blemish as the other one did. So it's uniform as far as that goes. The bottom of it has the same sort of indentations and markings in it. Wow. Oh, that's so cool! This keyboard was made on my birthday, the 22nd of January. Except I was born in 91, not 2015, so that's so cool though. I have a keyboard that was made on my birthday. That's so cool. That's beyond awesome. That was worth the price of this alone just for that. But yeah, I think what I should do is get a laptop and we should try this thing out. Mostly try out the Trackpoint. I mean, any of you who've typed on a Model M will know what that's like. It's the same case on this or any of the other Unicomp keyboards with buckling springs. But what I'm really interested in is trying the pointing device. I'd like to see what that feels like on this particular keyboard, because I've been wanting to get one of these EnduraPros for a couple years now. So let's give it a shot. Let me go get my laptop. And what better to test a buckling spring keyboard with a Trackpoint built in than a ThinkPad. So let's plug this into the USB port here and give it a shot. We'll install the drivers there. Let's give it a chance to do that. I do have a mouse pointer now. Yeah. The thing that's interesting about this is you can actually sort of see it move around like it's almost like a real joystick with not much travel. Whereas on the ThinkPad's Trackpoint here, it doesn't really move that much. You just kind of lean your finger in the direction that the mouse pointer goes, and it goes somewhere. Whereas on this EnduraPro, the pointing stick actually does move a little bit in a direction, so you get a little bit of travel with it, which is actually feels pretty nice. Although you'd have to get used to it because it can sometimes make things feel a little out of control. So let's open Virtual PC, for example, here. I think the sensitivity is a little too high for me with this particular pointing device. So let's see what Device Manager says about this. I can navigate this very easily, though. I'm liking it so far. HID keyboard device. I'm guessing that's what this is. And mice. HID compliant mouse. Well, it recognizes it pretty well, so yeah, using this Trackpoint is different. I will say that. Once you get used to it, though, it's pretty easy. It's weird to get used to the fact that the stick actually moves. That's very weird to get used to, but totally a throwback and very nice. It's just cool to have the same pointing device on a keyboard as on the laptops that I use. So that's really cool. So let me open up Word here, and we'll type on the keyboard, shall we? So I'll use the Trackpoint to change the font size to like 36. One thing that is a bit weird is, as I was typing that test there, I noticed that my finger would bump up against this thing a lot. It's a bit unnerving, mostly because of the cat's tongue portion, but I can just change the tip. But that is a bit unnerving to have that thing sort of bump up against your finger when you're typing an H or a G. So I figure that's just a matter of getting used to it, but it just seems a bit weird at first to me. If I take the tip off, you can see the arches they had to use in there. They had to change the keycaps to fit the EnduraPro Trackpoint onto the keyboard, so it's very unusual. So it's an unusual setup for a keyboard like this. It seems weird to put a Trackpoint on a keyboard. Here's otherwise, it's a great keyboard. I like having I'm a sucker for pointing devices and keyboards. Some of you have seen that from the compact Cherry keyboards with the built-in trackball that I like so much. And they make those with built-in trackpads. But this is my first keyboard with a built-in Trackpoint, and I'm liking it so far. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, it seems to do the job. I like this EnduraPro. It's a different experience. But if you're someone who doesn't game and is sort of a keyboard enthusiast but doesn't really care at all about your mouse, these Trackpoint things are great, especially if you just do work and drag files around all day or something. Works fine for that. Although the sensitivity and the fact that the Trackpoint itself has some physical travel is a little bit odd to get used to. I have to admit. I opened Opera by accident. Oops. So let me use the Trackpoint to shut this thing off and conclude this video. So, the EnduraPro. It's an ultra classic with a Trackpoint built in. I like the USB variety because it uses one plug for both devices. That is really cool. I like that a lot. So, it has advantages in many ways that way. You save a USB port for a pointing device if you just want to use the Trackpoint on the keyboard. It has the same great buckling spring feel that every Model M does. It's most reminiscent to the Model M13, if you've ever seen one of those. That is a Model M that is all black, including the keycaps, and has a Trackpoint built in. If you want to see a video of one of those, it's on V Westlife's channel. He had one at one point. Those, however, use PS2 only. These you can get in USB, which is my main reason for getting this particular one instead of an M13. And for the Windows key down there. So, the EnduraPro. I like it. And it was made on my birthday. How cool is that? One of my favorite parts is that they give you extra tips for the Trackpoint. That's really cool. So it really harkens back to the old. It really makes me think of a ThinkPad. This keyboard more than any other I've ever had. So definitely pretty cool. If you like Trackpoints, this keyboard is definitely a fun one to have in your collection. I would definitely recommend it for that. Plus, keyboards with built-in pointing devices really have their uses, especially when you test machines, and especially when it's USB and in one plug. I know I emphasize that a lot, but that's just really cool to me that they can do that. Anyway, that is the EnduraPro. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because it kind of speaks for itself. You know, the point of interest here was the Trackpoint, and I think I covered that fairly well. I mean, there's no real drivers. It just kind of works. So it's very simple, very to the point, and it seems to be done pretty darn well. One thing I would like to mention is these ultra classic keyboards tend to come with inserts that make the backslash key a little higher than the rest for some reason. I had that happen with my ultra classic, and it seems to be that way with this EnduraPro. It doesn't seem to be too big of a deal to me. It just seems to be like a normal thing, but that's just something to be aware of. Anyway, that is the Unicomp EnduraPro. I like it. It's a very nice keyboard, especially if you're a sucker like I am for ones with built-in pointing devices. I think those are the coolest things in the world. So, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and have a good one, everybody. Ciao.